when I think about the top geopolitical risks today, I say number one is the US-China showdown, number two is the US-China showdown, and number three is the US-China showdown. When you have the two largest economies in the world, the two most important militaries in the world, engaged in what is an on-again, off-again Cold War, this has enormous ramifications. And so the US-China strategic competition is by far the most important geopolitical issue facing us here in the United States and facing US businesses. When I think about geopolitics today, I think about Mike Tyson, the great American boxer and philosopher Mike Tyson, who once famously said that everyone has a plan, that is until you get punched in the face, right? The Russia-Ukraine war is a good example of that. It exposed many of our fragilities. The nature of our world today is so interconnected that when you have a war, it hits the world. So Putin in many ways dropped a bomb on Ukraine, and like all bombs, most of the pain is being felt where it lands, but there's shrapnel that has been flying around the world. And it has disrupted supply chains, it has disrupted energy markets, it has disrupted geopolitics. And while we were recovering from COVID, we got this punch from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and it is continuing to play out all across our world today. As we think about the 2024 US elections coming up, there's obviously going to be a lot of noise. It's going to be a boisterous time. But amid the noise of the latest tweet, amid the noise of the latest congressional investigation, something that I've been thinking about is that it seems to me that both Republicans and Democrats have converged around an economic policy that puts America first. When you look at some of the things that President Joe Biden has been doing, in terms of industrial policy, in terms of his attempt to bring back manufacturing to the United States, in terms of attempt to bring back the supply chain of manufacturing to the United States in the form of the Inflation Reduction Act. Industrial policy is back. Now, the Biden administration is using different tools than the Trump administration was using, but both sides have converged around this idea that we were far too dependent here in the United States on a China-driven supply chain. There needs to be more friendshoring and reshoring and nearshoring, and that seems to be coalescing in both camps. It's important to remember how interconnected we are. So small events that may have been contained in another age affect the entire world.